Most people think that if an artist loses a massive reality television singing competition, their career is pretty much dead on arrival. They vanish into complete obscurity, become a trivia question for fans, and eventually go back to a normal, unglamorous job. But right now, an independent singer from Wigan is completely shattering that myth into pieces. Without the backing of a major label, without multi-million-dollar investments from global corporations, and without a single track spinning on mainstream radio playlist, she is quietly outperforming mainstream pop stars on the global independent charts. If you look closely at the charts today, her name is sitting comfortably next to the biggest icons in the industry. It has left major label executives in absolute chaos, scrambling to figure out how this independent phenomenon managed to completely bypass their heavily guarded gatekeeping system. For decades, the modern music industry has heavily pushed a strict doctrine that an artist absolutely needs massive corporate backing, exclusive contracts with elite labels, and aggressive radio promotion just to survive. They created a powerful illusion that, without the blessing of top industry executives, a musician could never reach the ears of a global audience. However, when this young vocalist decided to sign with Cavendish Records, they threw that entire traditional playbook directly into the garbage. Instead of fighting for a radio play slot controlled by corporate gatekeepers, they made an aggressive move that many industry insiders initially laughed at. They targeted the independent physical sales market, dominated digital downloads, and built a global fan community that is fiercely loyal. This strategy, which was originally brushed off as a minor project by mainstream critics, turned out to be a highly effective weapon against the traditional system. Her album releases have consistently dominated independent charts across multiple countries, frequently dethroning mainstream artists who have hundreds of marketing staff behind them. This massive achievement is undeniable proof that the traditional way of manufacturing a superstar is officially dead and completely irrelevant in the modern landscape. But the specific path she took to reach this peak was far from easy. It was packed with hidden struggles and industry secrets that were intentionally kept far away from the media spotlight. There was a steep price to pay, and there was a highly restrictive system she had to quietly fight against from the very beginning of her career. If we dare to look behind the curtain of reality television talent shows that look glamorous and emotional on screen, there is a harsh reality that viewers at home are never shown. Young, naive artists are frequently locked into long-term contracts that are deeply restrictive and heavily one-sided. These complex legal agreements are carefully engineered to drain their creative freedom, limit their artistic expression, and exploit their personal image for fast network ratings. Once the public hype of the television show inevitably dies down, these young contestants are usually discarded like old property. Whispers from deep within the music industry suggest that her failure to take the first-place crown on television was actually the biggest blessing of her life. Losing that television competition saved her from the crushing gears of a broken corporate machine. It allowed her to escape the immense mental pressure and the formulaic, repetitive pop demands of major labels that only care about first-week sales numbers. The moment she broke free from that corporate control, she gained absolute freedom to dictate her own life and creative direction. She didn't have to alter her appearance to chase temporary trends, and she didn't have to sing tracks that didn't align with her true self. From quiet recording rooms far away from the shallow glamour of Hollywood studios, she began building a career foundation that was far more solid, organic, and permanent than anything a reality show could offer. The massive global success we are witnessing today actually started with a single, straightforward video upload that major executives didn't think much of at the time. However, that video triggered an unstoppable internet algorithmic wave that no corporate budget could ever replicate. Her incredibly clear vocal performance on classic tracks like Hallelujah and Never Enough didn't just capture casual attention. Those specific videos exploded globally, gathering astronomical view counts that quickly smashed past 300 million streams worldwide. In fact, several of her individual performances managed to cross the 70 million view mark completely on their own, a milestone that even heavily promoted label artists struggle to hit throughout their careers. In a modern music industry that is completely flooded with vocal manipulation, studio filters, and heavy auto-tune, her sudden arrival brought a refreshing change that listeners were starving for. She delivered pure, honest vocal strength without any digital deception, connecting directly with the emotions of anyone who listened. This genuine authenticity became a powerful magnet, transforming casual internet browsers into a highly protective army of dedicated fans. They don't just stream her music casually, they feel like an active part of her journey. This loyal fan base is always ready to move in unison, purchasing, sharing, and funding every single album project she drops into the market. This massive digital momentum is what eventually opened the doors to an unexpected crossover. Just when traditional critics and arrogant music commentators thought she would be permanently trapped in the box of an internet cover artist, she executed a sudden maneuver that left the industry stunned. Without any warning or massive promotional campaigns, she made the bold leap into the highly prestigious world of West End theater. Her decision to take on the lead role in the musical immediately triggered a wave of skepticism from traditional theater figures. Many insiders whispered cynically behind the scenes, claiming she was fleeing the competitive mainstream pop market because she was afraid of fighting on the digital streaming charts. However, all that doubt and cynical chatter was silenced in the most elegant way possible on stage. She answered every single critic by breaking box office records, completely selling out historic theaters within hours of tickets going on sale. Performing live in front of thousands of people, backed by the grand power of a 30-piece live orchestra, she proved to the world that her quality isn't a product of studio editing. She showed that her vocal range and stage charisma could easily dominate a massive physical venue, not just a smartphone screen. This theatrical success instantly triggered an intense wave of global demand, but this rapid rise to fame also brought a dark side that was quite dangerous. As the number of dedicated fans willing to pay for exclusive content on platforms like skyrocketed, the dark side of internet fame caught up with her fast. An urgent digital security crisis suddenly exploded within her community, causing massive panic among her most loyal supporters. Highly sophisticated networks of cyber scammers began operating in a coordinated way, creating dozens of copycat profiles that looked identical to her official accounts. These fake profiles impersonated her directly, sending private messages and launching targeted financial scams to steal money from unsuspecting supporters. The situation in the digital space deteriorated rapidly, turning into a massive headache for her security team in a matter of days. Seeing the immediate threat to her community's safety, her official management was forced to take emergency action by issuing stark, public warnings. This tense incident opened many eyes to how intense, intimate, and potentially dangerous the spotlight around her personal life had truly become. Being a massive independent superstar comes with complex security risks because there isn't a massive corporate legal department automatically handling these modern threats. Yet, the most incredible part of this phenomenon is that this digital chaos did absolutely nothing to slow down or halt her physical momentum in the real world. Right now, in the middle of all the internet drama, she is busy preparing to take her independent music empire across international borders. She is launching a highly anticipated European tour, including massive solo shows in major cultural hubs like Geneva and. A massive contrast becomes glaringly obvious when you compare her moves to artists stuck under traditional label contracts. While mainstream acts have to beg for corporate sponsors and burn through ridiculous promotional budgets just to ensure their arenas aren't half empty, this independent phenomenon from Wigan is selling out historic European venues completely on her own terms, without any international agency assistance. This historic achievement is a massive, embarrassing reality check for the traditional music business system. For decades, these secrets were carefully hidden by major labels to keep young musicians believing they absolutely needed exploitative contracts to survive. They didn't want artists to realize that in the modern era, distribution networks and technology have shifted absolute power to the creator, not the investor. Her success in breaking this corporate monopoly has created a brand new blueprint, inspiring thousands of independent musicians worldwide to take the independent path without fear. When you look back at her entire life and career journey from the very beginning, one massive conclusion becomes undeniably clear. The old rulers and gatekeepers of the conventional music industry have officially lost their absolute control over public taste. By turning a reality television loss into a highly profitable, self-sustaining global empire, she has proven an important truth. Authenticity in creation, honesty in performance, and an organic bond built directly with fans will always defeat corporate marketing tactics no matter how much money is thrown at them. The rules of the global music industry have changed forever, and there is no going back to the old ways. The high walls that major executives built to keep independent artists out have been completely torn down by internet algorithms and fierce fan loyalty. Now, with all these historic achievements happening right in front of our eyes, one crucial question remains for the future of entertainment. Will major record labels survive the next decade, or will they face total extinction in a brand new world where an independent artist can conquer, rule, and maintain the top spot on the global charts completely alone?